Why would the royal family insist on putting on their website that Rachel Meghan Markle holds a dual degree in international relations? And
Horrible. I can't remember anything, which
I guess the palace decided to split the difference in both her lies and said, "Heck," she said, 4 in one and 8 in another. Let's average it and leave it at 6. Is this what the monarchy is about? I'm going to ask you these questions. I'm going to put questions and I want you guys to answer it. By the way, thanks. I just want to say thank you to all of you. I've been dealing with a lot of things from the Sussex squad that are incredibly coward. They never show their faces. They create these fake emails and they send death threats to school kids and volunteers, a very poor school. So that's what we're dealing with when we're talking about the Sussex squad. So now I'm going to be hitting them hard, and I'm going to be hitting Meghan Markle and anybody who supports her lies very hard, no matter who it is. Okay, so we have that at the monarchy's website. When they forget that Meghan Markle has opened her mouth. One of the courses they offer, and you can definitely major. You can get a degree in communications with a major in here. I'll show you. With a major here in theater. See? You can get a minor and...
So Meghan Markle wasn't just acting in Hollywood, she's been acting in real life too. That fancy Northwestern degree she flaunted, turns out it never existed. The same woman who preached about authenticity may have built her royal resume on a story that's completely fabricated, and the receipts are devastating. We need to talk about Meghan Markle because the image the world worshipped for years just collapsed spectacularly. For years, people admired her as the perfect package. Beautiful, accomplished, and educated. The royal family's official website even touted her as a graduate of Northwestern University with 2 impressive degrees, one in theatre, the other in international relations. It sounded flawless, almost cinematic. The actress who became a duchess also came off as a worldly scholar. A background like that would make anyone seem untouchable. But here's where the fairy tale starts cracking. According to her royal biography, Meghan attended Northwestern University from 1999 to 2003, a solid 4 years. During that time, she supposedly earned 2 separate degrees, one in theatre and the other in international relations, juggling scripts and summits at the same time. Sounds like the plot of a blockbuster, but reality isn't a movie.
Such dual degree, and they have never offered it. And a dual degree in international relations and theater, which could be obtained in 4 years. Because
the 2 majors aren't even in the same school. Theatre falls under the School of Communication, while international relations is housed in Weinberg College of Arts and Sciences credits. From one can't be applied to the other, which means completing both would take at least 5 years. 1 year more than Meghan allegedly spent. So how did a biography funded by taxpayers claim she pulled off the impossible? Northwestern itself confirmed that the dual degree never existed. This isn't about flunking out or skipping classes. The program wasn't offered at all. A single email could have exposed the myth long before it became canon. Shockingly, no one checked. Even more jaw-dropping, this wasn't some gossip buried in a tabloid. It was an official royal history.
University from 1999, and she graduated from 2003. Now, what I'm about to say.
Millions read it and assumed it was true. This wasn't just a tiny exaggeration, it was the bedrock of a public image built on falsehood. The academic myth painted her as more than just beautiful. It presented her as intellectually elite, worldly, and capable of conquering both the stage and global affairs. And now that first tiny crack has turned into a gaping chasm. The royal biography didn't stop at an impossible dual degree. It went further, spinning the glamorous tale of Meghan's so-called international internship at the US Embassy in Buenos Aires. According to the story, she supposedly learned fluent Spanish in 5 weeks while assisting diplomats with high-level work. Sounds like a spy thriller, right? Young, sophisticated Meghan jet-setting around the world, solving crises, charming ambassadors. But reality has a nasty habit of crashing fiction. Interns at embassies don't roam the city handing out charm and advice. Their days are filled with paperwork, phone calls, filing, and endless coffee runs, all under strict supervision. There's no free-flowing Roman holiday vibe, no Hollywood sparkle, and mastering Spanish fluency in 5 weeks. Experts call that impossible.
Because we only have pictures of her high school graduations. And why do I say that Meghan Markle's one of the biggest lie has been debunked? Because Northwest...
Real diplomats spend years studying to reach fluency, and even immersion doesn't guarantee mastery. 5 weeks behind a desk is barely enough to order lunch in Spanish. Yet the Monarchy published this story as fact, letting it prop up Meghan's carefully crafted image of being worldly, cultured, and brilliant. This one dazzling detail, whether true or not, helped sell the illusion of a woman prepared to step into royalty as a global citizen. But the impossible Spanish fluency wasn't a standalone claim. It was just the opening act in a string of exaggerations that began falling apart the moment anyone looked closer. The embassy story? Glamorous, sure, but it's pure fiction dressed up as fact. And the palace accepted it without question. And just when you think the story couldn't get more unbelievable, the biography claims Meghan studied French for 6 years, adding yet another feather to her supposed crown of linguistic genius. 6 years of French, check fluent in Spanish after 5 weeks. Check. International relations prodigy. Check. The image was polished, cultured, and untouchable. But here's the kicker. Meghan herself admitted she's forgotten most of her French. A casual comment, almost playful, but lined up against official university requirements. It's a glaring contradiction.
When they forget that Meghan Markle has opened her mouth and lied in public, has been lying for many years. The problem that she has is that before nobody cared because she was...
Northwestern's international studies program requires proficiency in 3 foreign languages, real fluency, tested, verified. You don't just forget 3 languages you were officially certified in. This tiny admission exposes the enormous gap between myth and reality. The palace painted her as a multilingual powerhouse, yet here she is casually admitting she barely remembers the language she supposedly mastered. Every layer of the biography was crafted to reinforce a single narrative. Meghan as worldly, sophisticated, brilliant, and perfectly ready for royalty. But each claim, when examined, weakens the whole foundation. The languages, the degrees, the internships, every detail forms a pattern. It's less about actual accomplishments and more about shaping an image that dazzles both the public and the royal institution.
The problem she has now is that she's a known nobody whose lies can be easily verified and debunked and exposed. But the monarchy, it's sticking with this.
And now that pattern is starting to collapse. The flawless, multilingual Duchess we were sold may not exist at all. What emerges instead is a carefully polished illusion, ready to crumble under scrutiny. Every detail is exaggerated, impossible, or conveniently missing, and the palace let it stand for decades. Here's where things get downright suspicious. Every major milestone in Meghan's life is documented, from childhood birthdays to Hollywood premieres, high school graduations to red carpet appearances. Photographic proof is everywhere, but when it comes to her supposed Northwestern graduation in 2003, nothing. No photos, no videos, no record of her walking across the stage, just silence. This absence is glaring because this is a woman whose life is otherwise meticulously documented. Her high school graduation was captured down to the cap, gown, and proud father smiling in the background. Northwestern, nothing. That silence alone is a major red flag. Combine that with the impossible dual degree, the 5-week Spanish fluency miracle, and the exaggerated French studies, and suddenly the missing evidence speaks volumes. Missing photos may not be definitive proof of a lie, but in Meghan's case it fits into a much larger pattern of inconsistencies. Every other part of her life has evidence backing it up, yet the records here are oddly absent, a missing piece in a narrative carefully crafted to make her seem extraordinary. And when you put all these details together, the story starts feeling less like a biography and more like a performance. The missing graduation isn't a minor slip. It's the shadow of a much larger fabrication, designed to support an image of royalty that may have never existed. So what did Meghan actually earn at Northwestern? Researchers digging into official records found her listed under the School of Communication 2003 graduates that points to a single degree in communications with a theatre focus. Perfectly respectable, but nowhere near the dual degree in international relations and theatre advertised on the royal family website. That difference matters because somewhere between truth and legend, someone decided to embellish a communications degree with theatre focus, global scholar destined for royalty? Not quite. The narrative was upgraded carefully, polishing a reality impressive enough, but not glamorous enough, to step into the palace. This embellishment isn't a minor exaggeration, it's the cornerstone of the official biography, the claim that allowed Meghan to be framed as intellectual, cultured, and worldly. Without the dual degree, the story starts to unravel, showing that the carefully curated image of the perfect Duchess rests on shaky foundations. Meanwhile, the palace let this claim go unchallenged. Taxpayer-funded records presented an impossible degree as fact. One simple email to the university could have corrected it, but the lie persisted. And it's not just a reflection on Meghan, it's a reflection on the institution that published it. The gap between reality and the story presented to the public is jaw-dropping. A simple communications degree existed, but that wasn't enough for the myth of Meghan Markle. The embellishment wasn't an accident. It was deliberate. A narrative of sophistication and intellect was carefully crafted, one that reality simply couldn't match. And the exaggerations don't stop at academics. Even Meghan's family story has been polished, while public narratives present her as a self-made woman climbing from humble beginnings to Hollywood, and eventually, royalty. The facts tell a different story. Her father, Thomas Markle, funded her education from early childhood through private high school. Little red schoolhouse, immaculate heart, the whole package. These aren't rumours, they're verifiable facts. Yet, in her public persona, this crucial support is rarely mentioned. Why? Because it doesn't fit the story of the self-made Duchess. By leaving it out, Meghan amplifies the image of a woman who forged her own path, independent of family aid. This pattern of rewriting extends into her university years. The dual degree, the 5-week Spanish fluency, the 6-year French studies, and the glamorous embassy internship. All of it combines to paint a picture that masks ordinary realities beneath extraordinary claims. Each exaggeration reinforces the next, creating a seamless narrative that feels airtight until you actually examine it. Step back and it becomes crystal clear. There's a careful construction of persona from childhood support to education, from Hollywood to royalty. Meghan's story reads like a string of polished achievements designed to impress and distract. The myth was never just about her intellect or charm, it was about reinvention, crafting an image that could survive the scrutiny of both the public and the royal institution. And now the cracks in that story are widening, exposing the deliberate choices behind what was presented as fact. The family rewrite, just one piece of a much larger illusion. Here's where the scandal goes beyond Meghan herself. This wasn't a personal resume mistake. It became part of the official royal record. The biography claiming dual degrees, embassy internships, and language mastery appeared on the royal family website, a public document, funded by taxpayers, treated as historical fact. So how does a fabricated academic record end up on a platform backed by researchers, historians, and resources? It's not just negligence. It's complicity. Someone at the palace could have checked, verified, and corrected the story. One email to Northwestern would have revealed the truth immediately, yet the lie stood for years, quietly shaping Meghan's public persona. This isn't just embarrassment, it's a breach of trust. People look to the royal archives for fact, history, truth. Instead, they were given a myth, a curated story that prioritized image over accuracy. The palace essentially sanctioned the embellishments, allowing Meghan to appear more worldly, intelligent, and cultured than her records could support. The consequences go beyond Meghan. If the monarchy is willing to let a simple detail, like a college degree, be falsified, what does it say about other claims? When a small lie becomes official history, credibility erodes fast. The palace's silence only amplifies the scandal. The lie didn't need to exist, but it did. And by refusing to correct it, the institution became part of the fabrication. The perfect Duchess needed a perfect backstory, and the palace helped deliver it, no matter how impossible it was. Look closely, and a pattern emerges. This isn't a single exaggeration. It's a continuous act of reinvention. From Hollywood to royalty, Meghan's life reads like a meticulously scripted performance, each chapter polished, each accomplishment amplified. The dual degree, the embassy internship, the 5-week Spanish fluency, the French mastery, the strategically omitted graduation photos, all pieces of a performance designed to sell the perfect Duchess. Each claim alone could be chalked up to exaggeration, sloppy PR, or youthful pride. But when combined, they form a clear, consistent, and calculated pattern. Every detail enhances the image of a worldly, brilliant, and sophisticated woman, someone who could step into royalty with credibility and poise. Even her family story has been rewritten to fit this flawless image. Her father's support is minimized, her challenges are amplified, and the narrative of independence, resilience, and exceptional achievement is carefully constructed. The picture painted is perfect, but it's an illusion. This reinvention isn't harmless. It seeps into public records. Royal archives and historical memory were complicit. The palace helped propagate this story, lending authority and permanence to these exaggerations in the eyes of millions. The myths became facts. And now, after decades, the facade is finally cracking. The impossible degrees, the miraculous language skills, the missing graduation proof, it all points to the same conclusion. Meghan Markle's greatest performance wasn't on screen. It was in the life story she sold to the world, and the monarchy was complicit, letting that performance stand as fact. Every exaggeration in the biography served a single goal: crafting the image of the perfect Duchess. A worldly, intelligent, accomplished woman ready to step into royalty and captivate the public for years. The story worked. It was accepted without question because it sounded convincing, because it reinforced the narrative the monarchy wanted. But the truth has a way of catching up. Now the facts sit in black and white. One simple email exposed the impossibility. One careful review shattered the myth. And the palace, which had both the power and responsibility to correct it, chose silence instead. When the official record can lie about something as basic as a college degree, it makes you question everything else. That's the chilling part. This story isn't just about Meghan, it's about an institution that allowed fiction to replace fact and let it stand unchallenged for decades. Meghan played the role of the modern Duchess flawlessly, until she forgot that real life isn't a Netflix script. And now, as the credits fade, all that remains is the aftermath of her biggest plot twist. Yet the Duchess who lied her way into history and got caught in 4K is still part of a tale millions followed, believed, and shared. If this breakdown shocked you, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. The story isn't over, and the world is watching.